So there was one thing Dave talked about, which was being self-sufficient and hunting. Do you see that as like you being self-sufficient?
Yes and no. Like I think ideally when I got into hunting, like it was because of COVID. Like I thought for sure that they were just gonna like shut the food down and everything. I didn't know anything about hunting getting into it though. So like during COVID is when I kind of like figured out like how to hunt, like how to, gut a deer, how to do all those things. And like I've learned so much in that period of time. But it was only that one thing. There's so much more to being self-sufficient than just like shooting an animal. Like you have to process it. Like you have to worry about like if, in doomsday scenario, you have to worry about water. You have to worry about shelter. You have to worry about all these things. So like everyone always says, and like, I guess, half jokes like, hey, like it's so great that you can do these things. You have these skills. Like you could, when the grid goes down, you can take care of us. Truth is like, dude, I'm just as screwed as you guys. Like I can shoot a deer, but then it's like, all right, I could probably process it, right? But then like, you got clean drinking water? Because I don't. That's, that's where it's going to be a problem. I don't know how to build anything, like I could put some twigs together. That might help, but like I'm not, that self-sufficient in terms of like actually surviving off the grid.
But you don't have to go to like grocery store. You don't have to like.
No, but that's what I was going to get to. Like it is really sick to be like, just, hey, you need meat, walk downstairs, grab like steaks, ground beef or venison, I should say, but the ground version. And we save a lot of money on that, which is like actually really nice. I also don't want to like have any misconceptions here. Like if you're looking to get into hunting, it's going to be a lot of upfront costs. Like I thought for sure you could just be like, get the bow, get the arrow, go out there, shoot the deer. No, you're going to end up buying camo, ladder stands, just all different apparatuses to like make that hunting more enjoyable. So I think now I'm probably profitable in terms of like all in.
Wait, you don't say that. IRS is probably watching.
No, I mean, I'm not selling this stuff. Like there's no way. But like now I feel like I lost any money this year. Like I only spent money on broadheads, which were like, $60 for 3 versus the amount of deer meat I'm getting. Like I have an entire chest freezer downstairs, but I had to buy that chest freezer.
And if the electricity goes down, there goes your freezer.
Right. And that's the other thing about the self-sustainment, like grid goes down. All right. I just lost all my deer meat. So I can only, like eat the things that are fresh. So it's like, yeah, I don't know. Like I want to be self-sustaining. Like I think that would be awesome and hope like that's kind of my hope one day I can do that. But that takes a lot more skill than what I've developed so far in like the last like 4 or 5 years I've been bow hunting. But the bow hunting is like, it really has like amped up my hunting level because I only do bow hunting. So like if I needed to shoot a deer today, like I'm pretty confident if I went out there with the rifle within a day or two, I'd have one. Just ranges, because everything with a bow is within 25, 30 yards in the woods, because if like a branch nicks your arrow, like you're losing that deer, and that's not a fun experience. Like I hate losing deer more than anything in this world. Like it's not good.
Do you remember your first shot? The first deer you ever killed?
Oh yeah, it was euphoric. Like I've had so many failures with hunting, which is like why it's so near and dear to me, because it was something like that I was never ever good at first. Being an athlete my whole life, like anytime I picked up a sport, like I kind of got the gist of it pretty quickly. I didn't have too many struggles athletically. So when I wanted to do something, I was almost like a spoiled brat, where it was like, I'm good at this. I'm gonna be good at this. But then I picked up the bow, and like the first time I ever pulled a bow back, like it slapped my forearm here. And anyone who's watching this who's like gotten into bow hunting because I've been an influence on them, like they know like that is a big discouraging thing that can happen to you. But I just pushed through that and just missed a bunch of deer. Like luckily I never wounded any until I actually got my first one, because that could have really thrown me off early on. But I think I missed like my first 10 or 11 deer because I didn't understand the dynamics of like how the angle worked on the shot. So like when you go into a tree stand, you pull that bow back, right? If you just duck your first arm, like you've thrown off the line of your peep sight. Whereas like if you pull it back and just tilt your hip, you keep everything in line. But I'm completely self-taught, so I had no idea. And it took just like a lot of YouTube videos and like talking to other hunters, and I was like, why do I keep missing? And it was like the most frustrating thing in the world. So when I hit that first deer, it was like all of those failures, everything that I had put into it just washed away. And it was like the greatest thing. And I was like, I literally like said to myself in that moment, I was like, I am never not going to be doing this. Like every chance I get, I will be hunting because I've just been chasing that high ever since. And spoiler alert, you don't ever feel that way again. Your first year, like it, yeah. For my first like big buck, that I had a, you know, pretty similar reaction because I was like, oh yes, finally, like I got a nice buck, but nothing compared to that first year. So I'm just gonna be chasing that high the rest of my life. Maybe if I shoot like an elk or, you know,
Something bigger.
something bigger. I was trying to hunt a bear this year, but somebody got to it before I did. It was very frustrating. Ed, if you're watching this, you know I'm very mad.
Give me something to talk about.
I think we're all still very upset about the bear that I didn't get that thing in my hands, but it's okay. There'll be another bear, I'm sure.
Or you put Ed in the firing line and be like, just walk like a bear.
Yeah, definitely not. Never to my baby boy Ed. I love that guy. We have a good group of like blue belts right now at XCal. It's pretty sick. Ed being one of them.